All right, Wednesday update. Let's see. You know it's Wednesday when the spaghetti hits the fan. I had actually um, I recorded a video on my way back from Awesome Therapist's office, but I was so fucking dissociated that it was like the most pointless, ridiculous voice note video ever. So I deleted it. Um, so now I'm actually trying to get all of this working. I lost my internet connection. Okay, so you want an update. Here's what I've got for you. Um, Today I woke up totally like beyond dissociated. Like I couldn't, like no sensory input, right? And like nothing was working. I couldn't feel shit. I couldn't like physically, emotionally. I was just like gone, just totally zonked. So, I go and, I'll explain this notebook in a little bit. Um, so I go to therapist's office and I'm like armed to the teeth, right? I've got my cold pack with me. I've got my blanket, that I like take with me and like cover up with because it makes me feel safe. And I was like in my favorite chair and I'm totally like, I'm like going to town, right? I'm like, all right, let's talk about this. Let's do this. So, we're having a good conversation. It's difficult, but that's all right. And then, actually, at one point, um, we started talking about this memory this like little fractured memory piece that I keep talking about. And so I was, I'm like trying to talk to her and like explain it to her, and I I don't know, things like totally changed. I actually ended up sitting in like a different chair that was like closer to her, and I had like myself like kind of all covered up, and um, I seriously felt like I was 5 years old. It was weird because I was like listening to myself speak to her, and I remember thinking like, this doesn't even sound like you, and it didn't. It sounded like a little kid. And then she had me like write down kind of like things to remember, things to say to myself to kind of like ground myself and bring myself back to reality, right? But so I'm explaining like this fractured memory that I've got, and um, I don't know, it kind of just made the whole session like really difficult. We ended up talking for a long time. Um, and I left and I thought that I was feeling pretty good. Um, Not like super awesome good, but not like, definitely not as like dissociated and screwed up as I was before. So, but then I got home and she wants me to make like this collage, right? And, I was like, all right, make this collage, and it's supposed to like remind me that I am in, like the here and now, and that I'm not, a little kid, whatever. So, I'm like, all right, fine, that's cool, I can do that. And so I was planning on doing that when I got back to the apartment, but I don't know what changed. By the time I got back to the apartment, I was so right back where I started from. Um, really in this like just whacked out dissociative spot. So I'm laying on the floor like I seem to like to do lately, and I ended up setting my alarm because I had to be at work in an hour and a half to go pick up the kids that I take care of. I had to pick them up from school. So I set my alarm. And I don't know if that sucker didn't go off or if it went off and I turned it off. I have no idea. But the point is, I woke up a half an hour after they got out of school, and it takes me 15 minutes to get to their school. So I get over there, and I am racing around like I'm chicken with my head cut off. And I like go up to the school and they're not at the playground. So they go to the playground behind the school and they're not over there. So I walk back to the house, and because their house is like 5 houses away, or yeah, like 5 houses away from the school. So I walk over there, and they're not there, and I was like, oh my god, shit. So I go back to the school. I look one more time. I come back to the house, and the dad pulls up, and he's got the boys with him, and the dad is probably like the nicest person in the history of the world. I mean, like, no joke. He is amazing. So I felt so bad. I'm like crying because I felt terrible, like they were all worried because they thought that I got in an accident. I was embarrassed because I totally like borked everything. And then just to like put them in that position, like he had to leave work. And, oh my gosh, I felt so terrible. So I like the dad was like, it's fine. It's totally not a big deal. Go back and get your car because I left my car at the school. It's when I was like running around trying to find everyone. And so he met me outside when I got back, and he's like, "Are you feeling okay?" Okay, because I told him, I was like, I'm just not having a good day. I'm not really feeling very well, and I'm just kind of like out of it. I set my alarm. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it didn't go off or what, but I'm totally sorry to put you in this position. Like, just like apologizing like crazy. And he's like, it's okay. Like that, these things happen. And he's like, do you want me do you want to go home um, or do you want to stay? And so I told him I would stay, and that he could stay at work longer if he needed to or whatever. But he said that no, he was fine. He'd be back at 5:30. So he comes back to the house, and oh well, short segue. So he leaves, right? And what do I decide is the right thing to do? Guess. Anyone? 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 Take a guess. Any ideas? Oh yeah, I'm gonna binge. Because the boys are downstairs playing Wii, so perfect timing. Milk and cookies and bagels and I don't know, something else. Oh, pasta. Um, yep, because why not? So then they're downstairs and they're playing, and for whatever reason, I was sure that I did not get everything up. I ended up in the bathroom for 20 minutes, which, by the way, it usually takes me 5, like top to bottom, done. So I'm taking 4 times as much time in there as I usually do, and thank God the boys are downstairs. And I understand that's ridiculous. Like, hi, don't do that shit at work. That sucks. I know. You don't have to tell me. I gotcha. So, I, so then I'm done with that. I go and I'm playing with the kids, and the dad comes home and he kind of calls me into the kitchen. And he's like, hey, what's going on? And I just told him, I'm like, I don't know, I'm just having a hard time with stuff right now. There's a lot going on. I'm just trying to manage, and like I'm really sorry that this is kind of like bleeding over into my like other parts of my life, because that's really unfair, and I'm really trying to make sure that doesn't happen. And I didn't tell him specifics because really, what the fuck am I gonna say? Oh, hi. I know that I've taken care of your kids forever, but this is what I'm going on. Like, nobody wants to hire like the abused girl with the like eating disorder. Like, fuck that. Seriously. It doesn't matter if I'm like the best nanny in the world. Like, nobody's gonna fucking hire me with that. So I can't like tell him. And had he not been my boss, I probably would have, because he's like a really like easy guy to talk to, and like really trustworthy, and very wise. And but anyway, so he didn't, of course. I just kind of like thanked him for being so gracious, and apologized again, and told him that it wouldn't happen again. And he's like, if you need time off, if you just need like a day or two, or if you just need like some extended time, like let us know. Let me know, and I'll figure it out. And it was like super nice of him. So, yeah. That fucking sucked. Oh, sucked. So then I get back to the apartment, and here I am again, laying on the floor for like 4 hours. Really? So I finally called my therapist, and I was like, I explained to her the whole thing, everything that was going on. I was all like totally upset about it, of course. And we're on the phone for like an hour and a half. God bless her, because I don't know why she'd want to be on the phone with me for an hour and a half. Anyway, so she brings up the, it's really time to consider going to IOP thing again. And I'm just like, oh, God, no. Like, how the hell am I going to swing that? Like, work-wise, I have shit to pay for. I don't know how I'm going to pay for IOP to begin with. I can barely pay for therapy. It costs like a shit ton of money as it is. I'm already in debt with other shit. Like, what the hell? But she was all like, you still have control of when you decide to go. But if you keep having more days like this, I'm gonna have to make, an executive decision, and you're gonna, like, pretty much you're gonna have to go. So, then I talked to boyfriend, and I talked to my best friend, and I talked to another very good friend of mine tonight, because awesome therapist was like, you need to not isolate yourself and call at least 3 people. So I did. And yeah. And they were all like, I told them like what was going on and stuff. And they were all like, yeah, you need to go. You've got to go to IOP. Because what happens if you wait and then you have to go to inpatient, because then that's really going to suck a lot, because you lose your apartment and all your stuff, and so, which is true. So I emailed her just a few minutes ago, and I told her that I wanted more information about IOP, and I don't know how I'm going to swing it, and I don't know how I'm going to pay for it, but I'm going to see what kind of info I can get, and see if it's at all a possibility, because I think I have to. I really don't know that I have much of a choice. This shit is out of control. Like, I thought yesterday's binging and purging while my boss was in the other room, which actually, this is a different family, different boss, was in the other room, was bad enough. And then I completely outdid myself. Completely. And, pulled this shit today. So, it's not gonna work so much. So, IOP it is, I think. I don't know when. Keep you guys posted. But, that is it's 3:45 in the morning. And that's where we are. And, incidentally, 3:45 in the morning, boyfriend's birthday is at 6:41 a.m., so in just under 3 hours. And that is awesome. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he has a good birthday, because it's a big birthday, and, he definitely is the kind that gets birthday blues, so, yeah. And then Friday is best friend's birthday, so, yay, birthdays. That always makes me happy. Alright, lovelies. You guys have a good night. Good night.